Okay. This is one of my favorite positions to sit in. One of the things that people always say, it's like baby steps. You should take baby steps toward your goal. Whatever progress you want to make, you don't get there overnight. You don't get there super fast all the time. And a lot of times what I see with novice traders, especially the category of traders where they see people who are flexing Lambos and penthouses and all that stuff, they're the ones that are looking for the fast money. They want to get rich quick. When it comes time for actually holding themselves accountable, they just don't do it. They just want the money fast, however they get it. They're going to be the ones that are following other people's trading ideas. In these group chats, like on Discord, especially on Discord, there's this whole pattern, I'm sure you know it already, where it's like people have their ideas about how they think whatever market they trade is going to go. And they'll send out posts, and people who are noobs, who have no idea about anything, they're just going to copy those positions and enter them. And then when they win, especially when they win big, they're going to be like super excited about it, and they're going to think that maybe they found out how to actually trade based off of that idea. And when they lose, they're going to be super mad about it, way more mad than they were happy about the winning, because when you lose, it hurts way more. But the thing with it is, when you're following someone else's approach to trading, you're not actually learning how to do it for yourself. You're just copying someone else, and that doesn't help you to actually learn why you had a winner or why you had a loser. The reason that is so bad is because over time, when you want to figure out like, how do I actually trade and what do I actually think about markets like stocks, crypto, Forex, whatever, you're not going to understand what you're actually looking for and what your criteria are. And then what's going to happen is you're going to blame these mentors or gurus or whatever you want to call them when you get into a cycle of not winning as much as you would like to win. When you put money into these prop firm challenges, you're going to notice that, especially because you're going to be blowing through so much money unnecessarily, thinking that you're just going to copy your way to success. And that's a pattern that I saw when I started out, whether that was with myself or with other people who I was learning alongside. I was in all these different groups and people are sending out signals and all that stuff. It's a typical thing. But at a certain point, I thought to myself, how is it that I'm following all these different trading ideas? I'm winning some, I'm losing some, but I'm not actually understanding why a person actually entered a trade. For example, maybe some people like to trade imbalances. So they'll say that when they see an imbalance or a fair value gap at 9 a.m. or between 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., they're going to take the first one, set their stop loss beneath the candle that formed that fair value gap, and that's their like whole framework. Then they send out their trading ideas to their group. They say, hey guys, like, new trading idea. Looks like we're going to buy NQ. It had a huge candle that left no wick, and we're just going to buy it. People who are noobs and don't think for themselves at all are just going to see a notification that says, hey, my mentor said enter here, so I'm going to enter here. And then what the mentor is going to say is, if he or she is a good mentor, manage your risk, manage your trade as it goes into profit. And a lot of people who are new and don't actually care about risk management and seeing how price action develops, they're going to click buy, they're going to forget the stop loss, and then they're just going to leave their screen and then come back and see that there's a loss or a blown account or whatever the case. And who are they going to blame? They're going to blame that mentor instead of looking at themselves and figuring they had to take their parcels and actually manage their trade along the way. The biggest concept that I've learned is you have to take your parcels. A few months ago, I had been in a mentorship for someone who has a really interesting framework, which is based on a few different concepts, but one of the big ones is engulfing candles. So looking for engulfing candles and then figuring out, where do we think price is going to go after that engulfing candle form, and which time frames are we using to figure out where our targets are going to be. I was in this person's group. He was explaining a lot about how he approaches trades with these candles, but what he really hammered home was the importance of managing the trade after you enter. Instead of just entering and looking for a take profit to be hit or a stop loss to be hit, actually managing the trade along the way. And that doesn't mean staring at the screen the whole day. It doesn't mean that. What I personally like to do is have price alerts. When price hits a certain area, then I might check to see what's going on, because a lot of so-called losers could actually be winners, if you think about it, if you just take parcels along the way. People are so quick to want to get those home run trades, those trades that make up all of your losses, but they don't come that often. You can't really plan for them either. So you have to always have a good risk management plan in place, to the point where you understand that once price gets to a certain level, whatever level you think is important, it could reverse and go against you. And that whole entire trade idea could end up being a loss if you don't manage your trade properly. The really important thing about this is to just take parcels along the way. And that's why I actually think that prop firms, these retail trading prop firms, are good, because they force you to take parcels. They force you to hit a certain price target, and even some of them that have the consistency rules. Those consistency rules actually help you to become a better trader, because you're not looking for a home run to make back all your losses. For example, one of the firms that I trade with has a very annoying rule, by the way, very annoying. Something to the effect of 40% of your profit cannot come from your best day, or your best day cannot be 40% of your overall profit, or something of this sort. Even if you make $10,000, for example, you're not going to be able to withdraw if you made 9,000 on one day and then 1,000 on the next, because obviously it's very skewed there. And what that forces you to do is look for good trading ideas, not just big profits. Trading ideas. One of the most important things I do is journal, which I hadn't done in the past. It makes such a big difference. It helps you to understand what you're thinking, why you were thinking it. I've been keeping track of my trades in this journal because I wanted to better understand like which pairs do I trade best, and also which of the concepts that I use in trading are the ones that work best for me, the ones that I see the most success with, and which ones are the ones that I don't really have a good understanding of and maybe should not use at all. What I saw last week was a trade during the Asian session, because that's my favorite session, on the pound Australian dollar, and price went in my direction. Like, this was a buy trade and I had my certain criteria met, which I marked down in my trading journal. I entered the position and I was watching TV at the time, so I was just monitoring the trade like here and there. I was focused on other stuff. By the time I was about to go to sleep, and this was before midnight, I realized that price was starting to consolidate. What I would have done in the past is hope that after the consolidation, price would just continue in my favor, because I wanted that home run trade. Price looked like it was going to do what I thought it was going to do, so why not? I mean, everyone wants their ego to be stroked in a way. We all have that moment in trading where we just think that we found that banger trade and we just want to see price go in our direction. But in this case, I thought it's better to continue to make progress toward an eventual payout and just take the partial. If price continued up, then great. But if it didn't and it went against me, then I would have at least had something. We get so greedy with trading. We think that with these prop firms that this money is like play money. You don't have anything until you actually get paid. No matter how much you think you have the potential to earn, you won't get any of it if you keep playing around and thinking that you're just gonna be able to add more and more to it just because you want to see the market go in a certain direction. It never happens like that. I shouldn't say never, but usually it doesn't. I took the partials, I went to sleep, and when I woke up the next day, price had gone below my stop loss. So that was just one example to me where it's like, yeah, like this is what I should have been doing all along. Taking these partials so that if I can get a trade that has like a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, that's considered a success. I'm not looking for these 5R, 10R trades that people flex about online. I just want to be consistent enough for me. And I feel like a lot of us, when we're starting out, or not even just when we're starting out, but like when we're starting to learn what we're doing and understand how to somewhat think independently as traders, like we don't think like that. And that needs to be changed fast. With all the educators that I've watched, what I've consistently heard them say is just focus on the base hits, just focus on getting a little bit here, a little bit there, not focusing on the home run. Just like anything else in life, you hear people say it all the time, and maybe one person says it and it just finally clicks for you. A lot of people who are having consistently profitable weeks, they're not taking a bunch of trades. So you might think that you don't have time to journal, and maybe that's because you're taking too many trades in a day, and you're wondering like why you're spending so much time on the screen instead of actually learning from your mistakes. So this journaling process is making such a huge difference for me. I'm actually able to understand what I was looking for in an overall trade, and a lot of time, even as I go back and review, I'm seeing that these positions that I lost on, if I just taken a little bit of partial, it could have been helpful. It makes you feel like you're making the progress, because you can actually make progress toward a payout, or make progress toward passing a phase 1 or passing a phase 2 on an eval, or just passing an eval in general when you're actually taking partials, instead of looking for the big trades that may or may not destroy your account. It's a very dangerous mindset to have, to think that you're going to be that one person who is able to outsmart the markets and just take 10 trades and like have 9 of them play out exactly how you want them to play out. It's so risky. What's better is to continuously stack up the smaller profits. These small wins help you better understand your process more than these big ones ever can. Like, what does one candle that happens to just engulf the previous 10 candles, what does that actually teach you, as opposed to price action that kind of shows where highs and lows are being hit, and they're able to see more patterns and able to see, hey, maybe I don't want to trade a certain market at a certain time. All these more intricate aspects of price action are more beneficial than one candle that just happens to go in your direction. You learn more by having consistent small wins, small losses, and repeating that over and over and over again. One thing I am curious about though is, do you like to have a trailing stop loss, or do you like to just let price hit the take profit? And also, do you like to stack your positions, or do you like to have all your entries at one point? I feel like this is a huge debate that a lot of people have different opinions on, and I want to know. So if you are someone who likes to trade, comment down below. Okay, thanks. See you next time. Bye.